All right, for more now, we cross to SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillip in Cape Town. Good afternoon to you, Bulelani. Of course, we understand that this meeting, there's only one agenda, and that certainly is budget. Last week's budget would have been the first one presented by the GNU, but that didn't happen. What are you hearing and what do you know?
Well, good afternoon to you, Unati, and to the viewers at home. Of course, all eyes will be on President Cyril Ramaphosa as he convenes this special cabinet meeting where they will be considering various proposals around how the GNU partners can find each other in order for the finance minister to be able to table this budget speech on the 12th of March. Of course, this follows the postponement of the budget speech last week. Of course, one of the main issues that is an impasse here is that whether the 2 percentage point VAT increase proposals should be considered or not. And if it doesn't, what other revenue streams can the minister pick up on in terms of having a stream that he can use to actually budget and allocate resources for education, commuter transport, as well as health services. Of course, we do know Cabinet does not ordinarily sit on a Monday, hence this meeting is quite important. But what we do know, this is not going to be the only meeting that the Cabinet will sit to consider issues all related to the budget. We do know there will be a series of meetings in order for them to be able to come to some sort of a consensus in order for the minister to get the marching orders from the government as well as Cabinet in order to be able to deliver that budget speech that is planned for the 12th of March. Whether they will find each other before that date, it's something that remains to be seen, Unati.
And I mean, I'm just reading President Cyril Ramaphosa's Monday letter, of course, which, is centered around that decision to postpone, the budget. I mean, just to read one sentence, he said the last minute postponement was unfortunate. It gave rise to concern and uncertainty among South Africans, investors and financial markets. We look to the budget for important signals about the state and the direction of our economy. A lot has been spoken about the maneuvering that the finance minister will now have to make. Bulelani, what do we know in terms of who is going to be in that particular cabinet meeting today in as far as making these decisions? Because what we're also understanding from the media reports is that the finance minister will now table what is called an alternative, to the budget, somehow obviously seeking some form of guidance from cabinet.
Well, Unati, ordinarily we do expect it's going to be the 10-member government of national unity partners that will be part and parcel of that special cabinet meeting. Of course, the finance minister is under pressure from both sides, both in the opposition bloc that is within the GNU, as well as some of his cabinet colleagues from the ANC. Now, he has to make this balancing act because initially what we do understand is that he must first present what he was meant to present last week during his budget speech so that he can take everybody on board how he arrived at this proposal of a 2 percentage point VAT increase proposal. But of course, the GNU partners will also have an opportunity to actually say that if they are in disagreement with this proposal of a VAT increase, what kind of alternative measures or revenue streams are they proposing to the finance minister for consideration? So in order for them to be able to move forward, the minister must be able to consider their proposals and as well as the proposals that he has initially put on the table so that they can find a consensus in order for them to be able to move in a common direction that will be able to take them to deliver that budget speech. Of course, in your intro, you were saying that the president actually took time in his Monday letter to actually try and address this and allay the fears of South Africans, investors, as well as the markets. But I think the one line that is quite important there is that he's saying that the markets, as well as investors, must not look at the postponement as something that is a crisis, but they must rather look at it as something that is democracy at work. And I think what he is trying to underscore is that he doesn't want to see the markets and investors in panic, but rather to say that this government of national unity is going to have these kinds of problems because all of these partners come from different policy backgrounds, and this kind of nickels, or rather these kind of challenges are expected, but what is committed to is that they will try to find each other at all common times in order to have this productive country, and a country that creates stability for both the markets as well as investors. Unathi.
Let's leave it there for now, Bulelani. Thank you so much for that. Of course, Bulelani just reflecting on the cabinet meeting that has been called today to discuss, among others, the budget.